GixxerR Cups. Quick look at the points total for the moment. Jesse Stroud still leading on 130 points. Second place, Zach Fuller on 102 and Clark Fountain on 99. And it's Justin Maunder on 79 and Shane Miller on 68. And if you're here yesterday, you saw a fantastic finish, didn't we, Brad, in the Gixxers? I mean, there was just this banner finish, 3 across the line, nothing separated them. We needed a photo finish virtually to separate Jesse Stroud from Clark Fountain and Zach Fuller. So watch for them in this one. On the front row it is Jesse Stroud, Zach Fuller alongside him, Clark Fountain and Justin Maunder. They're the top 4 on points as well. Now, don't be too perturbed if your favourite rider isn't figuring in the mix early on, because this is all about drafting and it's all about tactics. I was having a quick chat to Veg just before we came up here today, and of course he's looking after Zach Fuller among others, and he was telling me about the tactics that they were using yesterday. The reason that Clark Fountain was able to get back to them is because they'd slowed down so much, because Jesse Stroud was saying to Zach, you know, come round me, you know. He didn't want to lead coming up the hill for the last time, and of course Zach wouldn't do it, and we had that amazing finish. So let's see what happens this time round. It's just a sprint for these guys, just 4 laps here around the international circuit at Hampton Downs. Brad Ritchie joins me in commentary once again. Brad, refreshed after an entertaining night last night?
Yeah, absolutely brilliant night. Yeah, Steve and Rusty and the team there with the Legends dinner. Absolutely awesome to see, and some of the stories that come out of the night are just absolutely brilliant. So absolutely awesome. We're on the track. First race of the day at early morning stuff. Brilliant stuff. Coming out of the Double B at the moment. We've got the black leathers out in front there. So that is Jesse Stroud, and then we look to Zach Fuller. You see the awesome Alpine Stars leathers of Zach Fuller in second place as well. So this guy's definitely pretty happy with his performance yesterday. There wasn't much in it with the cross the line, but here they go again, and just a 4-lapper as you said, Phil. So all to play for here with the GixxerR Cup.
Oh, and Jesse just ran a little bit wide there, and I think Zach just might have got eaten into that advantage. We'll have a look as they come down into the dipper. No, still Jesse Stroud out in the front. Just takes slightly different lines from the rest of them, but pick a winner from the next bunch. There's probably 6 or 7 of them capable of getting the win here, getting the W. It's all about points, of course. This is the 3rd of 5 rounds for the New Zealand Superbike Road Racing Championship. First race of the day, and if it's anything like yesterday, it'll be a heart starter. There's no doubt about that. They were fantastic yesterday, these young guys.
Yeah, absolutely. They were fantastic, and we saw Jesse and Zach. They sort of broke away, but this time around, not the case. There's a good little 5-way dust-up as they head up the hill and down the front straight. So hopefully we can have another couple of these GixxerR Cup riders in the mix as we cross the line. 1 down and 3 more to go. So there it is with the update. The 15 of Jesse Stroud is leading, but then they're 3 abreast heading into turn 1. So all to play for, and great to see. It's more than a 2-horse race in this early part of the motor.
Yeah, that's right. And Clark Fountain, who was 3rd yesterday, goes across the line in 5th place. Curtis Boyd in that mix, along with Justin Maunder, Zach Fuller and Caleb Gilmore. So more to play for, but Jesse just got that a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah, the boys behind Jesse will have to just be careful they're not sort of unseating each other too much there. We see the 3 of Clark Fountain. He's up into 2nd place now as well, so this is a good ride from him. So just to see them all, a good 5-way battle as they head through Kev's Carousel and out of turn 2. So this is going to be absolutely breathtaking to see. Not much separates this whole field as they cross the line, so 150 Racing is teaching these youngsters quite a good bit of racecraft.
And that's what it's designed to do, isn't it? It's an introductory class to motorcycling in New Zealand. Hats off to Simon Mead and the team from Suzuki New Zealand for getting this initiative going. 2nd full season for the GixxerR Cups. Costs about $6,000 to go racing. For that, you get a brand spanking new motorcycle, 15 horsepower, 150cc Suzuki. You get a brand spanking new set of racing leathers, courtesy of Alpine Stars and Crown Kiwi Enterprises. You get a brand new helmet, gloves and boots. It is a very economical way to go racing, and I see as they work their way through the higher pull hairpin, it looks like they've come back onto the tail of Jesse Stroud. So there'll be about 5 of them together as they head down into the sweeper at the bottom end of the circuit.
Yeah, this is brilliant. Still Jesse Stroud. Zach Fuller's now got himself back into 3rd place. So Clark Fountain, Zach Fuller. So our 3 championship contenders all up there as well with Justin Maunder. He's in 4th place as well. So there's Zach Fuller just pulling up alongside Clark and looking to have a little bit of a move into the sweeper. So he gets that done. So a change for 2nd place. Zach Fuller now up into 2nd, and all after the this man in front, Jesse Stroud, and absolutely brilliant. You look at, he's got a decent 28-point lead in the championship, so he's got all over a race in hand as we head round about the halfway point in our championship.
Yeah, and getting to the business end of this race as well. So over the line they'll come. Look at this. You can throw a blanket over the top 5 as they work through. And a change in the front of the field. Clark Fountain, and then it's Zach Fuller, then it's Justin Warner. Jesse Stroud goes back to 4th place. Then we go back to Curtis Boyd, and then the next bunch being led by Luca Durning. Now there's plenty of opportunity for you to be involved if you want to get involved. Maybe not this season, for next season in the GixxerR Cup. Go and visit your local Suzuki dealer. They'll have details of how you can go about it. It's open to kids, I think, from 14 years of age upwards to about 21. The only proviso they put on it in the early days was that you could never have won a New Zealand title, so you didn't have veterans in the class. It's the perfect thing if you're a bit jaded from maybe doing your junior motocross and you want to try something else. This GixxerR Cup is for you.
Absolutely. And, 14 years of age, you're not allowed to ride a road bike on the road, so what a perfect way to get your racecraft already on the track. So mint stuff to see as they're toing and throwing, and Jesse Stroud managed to get himself back in the lead, and looks to be Clark Fountain in there as well. So this is going to be a great battle. Half race distance at the moment, 2 laps down, 2 to go as they head into the Double B and down into the existing circuit here at Hampton Downs and head into the high pool hairpin. So there's absolutely nothing in that group. The top 3 is just trying to sort of break away. It's a 3 and a 2 at the moment, but definitely when Jesse Stroud led out of the turn 10 sweeper and crossed the line in 4th, these guys are all about the draft, all about the slipstream, and all about some drive heading up that hill at Hampton Downs.
Yeah, and keeping what little corner speed they've got. That's why they're running a slightly wider line now. Gap's starting to open up. This time it'll be the white flag, I would think. So it's about to unfold here, folks. The gloves are off. These guys will be watching each other. There'll be some hand signals going on. If you're close enough to the track, you'll see it. You'll see people looking behind nervously and looking forward, just trying to position themselves to be in the right place at the right time for this last lap. We saw it yesterday. Clark Fountain came from nowhere because the pace came right out of the race with Jesse and Zach Fuller playing Catch Me If You Can in the front. Is that going to happen again? Up over the top they come. And now we've got a distinct leader. Now, is that going to be the man that wins the race? That's the big question. Jesse Stroud back in front, Clark Fountain in 2nd. Then we go back to Fuller, Maunder. Then it is Curtis Boyd. So the second group starting to tack on to the first group. So what that tells me, Brad, is that maybe the pace has come out just a little bit from the front group. So there's some tactics going on. There's sort of after you, sir, no after you. And that's what we saw yesterday as well. Doesn't take it away from the racing, though. The racing will be brilliant, and there is 1 lap to go. Well, there's less than that for the top boys because they're heading out onto turn 2 now after that big long straight.
Yeah, Jesse's just done enough to sort of break away enough. Got a comfy little margin as he heads into Kev's carousel, and he was 9/10 of a second ahead as they crossed the line. That's the biggest leading margin I've seen in some meetings. So to have nearly a second of a lead when they cross the line, this looks like he's just done enough to break that slipstream, as we say that, heading into the Double B at the moment. And this is still all to play for. So Jesse Stroud is in the lead with about a 10 or so bike length advantage as they swing around the awesome double bastard and head back onto the Grand Prix circuit, but he's got a decent enough gap. I think that could be a manageable one. They've just got to be mistake-free and get it home. Clark Fountain and Zach Fuller 2nd and 3rd, so these guys are going to have to work together now to try and reel them in.
Yeah, maybe that's you've picked it absolutely dead right there. Just less than a second, but the gap's there for all to see as they head down into the Pirelli Dipper. Fountain trying to come back at him and has just swallowed up a little bit of ground, but maybe this is the winning break for Jesse Stroud. Talking to some of the riders, they're saying the patchwork quilt there in the Dipper, where they've done a little bit of sealing work over the last few months, that's caused a few problems, especially when the track temperature gets hot. We'll come back to that, but they're line astern as they head down into the Pirelli sweeper at the top end of the circuit, and they're back on him. They're back on him.
Yeah, Zach's definitely reeled him right in, so it's going to be a 2-horse run to the line. It's Jesse Stroud, Zach Fuller's right right on behind him, so he's running out of time. They're climbing up the hill at the moment.
Yeah.
But it is Jesse Stroud hugging that inside of the lane, trying to break the wind along the fence there, and I think it's going to be Jesse. He just seems to have done enough, Jesse Stroud.
Yeah, he's got the winning advantage, hasn't he? So Jesse Stroud's going to take out this first race of the day, Sunday. Looks behind him as a cheeky look to see just where Zach Fuller's come across the line. He's gone through in second place with the fastest lap of the race, and then in third place it was Justin Maunder. Clark Fountain's been shuffled back to fourth, and then we go back to fifth place, Curtis Boyd, and then Lucas Durning through in sixth. Shane Miller, the next one through, and then Caleb Stroud, the next sibling on the block in the Stroud family, through in 8th place. 9th place went to Cameron Goldfinch from Wanganui, and in 10th place it was Hamish Simpson. So we didn't quite see the drafting fest that we saw in race 1, but another good win and another comfortable 25 points for young Jesse Stroud. Fantastic stuff.
And just another note there, a 2:13.9 from Zach Fuller on the last lap. That is the fastest lap of the race, and that is beating his lap record here from last year. So a new lap record, going well under his old one by over a second and a half. So brilliant stuff, Zach Fuller. And just looking at the timesheet, the best lap time there, so all the way down to 9th place. So 9th place there, all under the lap record from last year. So just shows how much better this GixxerR Cup's getting, and fabulous racing. And full credit to Jesse Stroud, who led by 9/10 over the line, and then just did enough to break all the slipstreams, and that's a quality ride from Jesse Stroud.